In the book of Acts, the Apostle Paul meets a group of philosophers in Athens. He doesn't present them with the Jewish scriptures, but instead quotes their own poets to them and argues that their intuitions about God are actually ways that God is seeking them out and revealing himself to them. The God who made the world and everything in it, he is Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in shrines made by hands, neither is he served by human hands as though he needed anything, since he himself gives everyone life and breath and all things. From one man he made every nationality to live over the whole earth and has determined their appointed times and the boundaries of where they live. He did this so that they might seek God and perhaps they might reach out and find him, though he's not far from each one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your own poets have said. For we are also his offspring. Since then, we are God's offspring, we shouldn't think that the divine nature is like gold or silver or stone, an image fashioned by human art and imagination. Therefore, having overlooked the times of ignorance, God now commands all people everywhere to repent, because he has set a day when he's going to judge the world in righteousness by the man he appointed. He has provided proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead. Paul's argument is that these pagan philosophers and poets who have spent hundreds of years trying to ponder what God might be like without any direct knowledge of him through the scriptures are keying into things that are true about God because God is in pursuit of the human heart. That pursuit culminates in Jesus, the God-man who came to purchase humanity back to God from sin and death by dying and rising from the dead. Now, most of the Athenians don't buy the argument, but it's a good example of Paul's understanding of God's goodness and grace towards sinful people, and it's an understanding so fundamental to our faith that we named our church after it. God reveals himself. God makes a move in the lives of all people everywhere. He draws all people to himself in big ways and small ways, through our own hearts and other people, through the pursuit of knowledge and in nature, but ultimately, finally, through Jesus. In fact, we all seek ultimate meaning in life because that desire has been placed inside of us. C.S. Lewis wrote that creatures are not born with desires unless satisfaction for those desires exists. A baby feels hunger. Well, there's such a thing as food. A duckling wants to swim. Well, there's such a thing as water. If I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, that does not prove that the universe is a fraud. Probably earthly pleasures were never meant to satisfy it, but only to arouse it, to suggest the real thing. My lack of satisfaction in my life is meant to be met by God himself. St. Augustine confessed this 1600 years ago. In yourself you rouse us, giving us delight in glorifying you because you made us with yourself as our goal, and our heart is restless until it rests in you. All of the identities that I take on, all of the circumstances that I experience, all of the relationships that I participate in, all point to God's pursuit of restoration for my life and ultimately for all of creation, because in him we live and move and have our being. He is everywhere, all the time, calling us to come home. This truth is foundational for us. From it springs our mission, our hope, and our posture in the world. Everything that matters about the way we understand and interact with the world stems from this one idea: God is not hidden.